Without much delay, let us begin the session for today. So, very good morning once again. I, Smita, on behalf of Read India, would like to welcome you for this Read India Summit 2024. Without much delay, I request our esteemed guests to please join me for lighting of the lamp. I would like to invite Dr. R.K. Sharma. He is presently the Director for United Nations Information Center, India and Bhutan. Sir, please join us. I'd like to call Mr. Jaivikram Bakshi, Trustee, Read India. I'd like to welcome Major General Suraj Sandhu for lighting of the lamp. Dr. Geeta Malhotra, Country Director, Read India. Ms. Kalpana Das Gupta, Trustee, Read India. Lighting of the lamp. Tradition of lighting a lamp begins of an auspicious event is deeply rooted in our culture. It symbolizes removal of darkness, ignorance through elimination of knowledge and wisdom. And since we are all, most of us are librarians and gatekeepers of knowledge, we try to lighten as much knowledge as we can in each of our minds. The lamp that is being lit today is through the diya that is made out of bee wax. This diya has speciality that this is of course made by reed communities, and the ions that are exhausted by the elimination of this diya are positive ions, and it adds positivity to the environment and zero carbon emissions. So this is how we are also contributing to the environment by lighting green diyas. The speciality of this shawl is that this is hand woven and khadi. This is woven at Gijkar Center. That was the first center that Read India inaugurated in 2008. And women have learned spinning, weaving, and it is completely handmade by our community. So, thank you, sir. I'll request ma'am, Geeta ma'am, to please honor Kalpana ji with the shawl. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for joining us today and always blessing us. I request Geeta ma'am to please welcome Major General Sandhu. I would request Geeta ma'am to please welcome our mentor, Mr. Jaivikram Bakshi, Trustee, Read India. 17 years, it's a long journey, but in our minds, it is more of a, I would say it's a blip, it's a blink, and 17 more years, it is going to pay way for 17 more years. To take each one of you through this journey, I would request Praveen to play a small video. It will show you from where we begin and where we are today.
various aspects in library so that they understand the value of the library, the value of the book, and there are n number of examples. The women develop interest to continue their higher education. They come to the library as middle pass and they are graduates, postgraduates in the earlier centers we established. That is the achievement of the libraries we established in rural areas. The communities are our partners. I would like, मैं रिक्वेस्ट करूंगी देवजी भाई और उनकी मिसेस देवजी भाई को थोड़ा एक खड़े होके मैं सबको बताना चाहती हूँ कि ये हमारे कच्छ से पार्टनर हैं। इन्होंने हमें बिल्डिंग दी है लाइब्रेरी बनाने के लिए और ये हमारे मिशन को गांव गांव में लेके जा रहे हैं, बच्चों को पढ़ाने के लिए, औरतों को जोड़ने के लिए, आईटी ट्रेनिंग्स देने के लिए। और थैंक यू वेरी मच, बहुत बहुत आपका धन्यवाद। देयर इज अनदर पर्सन, आरती राणा, दे आर national awardees, both of them are national awardees. Aarti Rana is from tribal community of Lakhimpur Kheri. Because community wants to teach their children, but they don't have any platform. So we set up the community library in their areas. She has given her house to set up the library as well as the skilling center. And recently she got the award from the Honorable Prime Minister of India, working a great job in her village. I would also like to introduce Dr. Nitin Singh, who is highly qualified in her field. But how the green economy could be promoted, he came all the way from Lucknow to join us, sir. So most welcome. Mr. Ram Dehphale, sir, he is Director Industry and Security. Earlier he was posted in Aurangabad, now he is in Mumbai, but he has given his land and the building in Latur to set up the library there. And मैं जितना कम इनके बारे में बोलूँ, जितना ज़्यादा बोलूँ उतना ही कम है. I should say that because Radhika is also in this crowd. Yes, Radhika. Mr. Darshan Singh is our partner from the past 10 years. Purchased the land, built beautiful library for us, and we are running that library. And now they are requesting us very proudly, telling us, you have to travel with us to Himachal to make another library. Thank you, Radhika, for your answer. So this is the journey. There is long journey. I cannot take the names of everyone, but आपका बहुत बहुत स्वागत है इस सेमिनार में, जहाँ पे हम बात करने जा रहे हैं कि हमारी रीड लाइब्रेरीज क्यों विशेष हैं और आपके बिना हम ये लाइब्रेरीज नहीं चला सकते। हमारे 5 पिलर्स हैं, मैं थोड़ा हिंदी में भी बोलूँगी बिकॉज पीपल शुड अंडरस्टैंड दैट। पहला इज़ पीपल, वी कैन नॉट वर्क विदाउट पीपल इन द विलेजेस, so you are very very important for us. The second is your potential. We harness your potential and we are dependent on your potential how to set up a community library in the rural area, and you are the ones we should name as pillars for us in the community. The third is the power you share with us, because you are very powerful in your community. You are the stakeholders for us. Without you, we cannot work. The fourth is we train them in a big way and we make you as communities of practice. So, जहाँ पे हम information की बात करते हैं, ज्ञान की बात करते हैं, skill की बात करते हैं, इन तीनों pillars को लेके जाने के लिए आपका बहुत बड़ा रोल है। और आज के दिन मैं आप सबका बहुत ही दिल से स्वागत करती हूँ इस कार्यक्रम में। How we work is very important here. मैं सिर्फ आपको realize करा रही हूँ यहाँ पे कि आप क्या क्या करते हैं हमारे लिए। We engage all of you. हम आपको engage करते हैं जब हम community में जाते हैं। Then we empower you. हम आपके साथ ट्रेनिंग करते हैं, बातचीत करते हैं, कमिटीज़ बनाते हैं और हम एक एजेंडा तय करते हैं कि हमें कैसे आगे काम करना है आपके क्षेत्र में। तीसरा है कि हम आपको एजुकेट भी करते हैं। बहुत सारी स्टोरीज़ हैं, Farah, Shashi might be in this crowd sitting. Many pillars are here. Those who just joined the library when they are 8th pass and now they are double 11. Delayed age at marriage is the one thing we have achieved. Inclusivity we have achieved. There is one coordinator sitting in the crowd from Bihar, Benipeti. She is differently able girl, but managing the library so well from the past so many years there. So welcome Archana, all the way you came from Bihar, Benipati, most welcome. Then lastly, I would like to share that equality is also one of our agenda, because when we invite people in the library, they don't differentiate to which caste they belong, what is the religion. They all are together in the library, and when they move out, they give a very important message that we are one. So that is the beauty of the libraries, sir, we established. The agenda is connecting communities and empowering people, and in 17 years of journey, I think, and I am proud to announce that we are successfully achieved that. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. You've taken us through the journey so beautifully. You've done I would say, a brilliant job of putting words to the film that we just saw. So thank you for leading us, mentoring us, and inspiring us. With ma'am, there is another pillar. As ma'am said, the other pillar of Read India is Mr. Jai Vikram Bakshi. The journey could not be better, described more better with all the people sitting over here. So now I would like to call upon Jai sir to please share his vision or his memory of Read, how we've traveled so far and how we travel further from here. So please sir, join me on this.
Thank you, Smita. Dr. Sharma, Kalpana ji, Sandhu sir, Geeta ji, thanks for joining us at the dais. Thank you all our partners who have joined us, traveled from across the country. और मेरे सेंटर के कोऑर्डिनेटर्स, एकदम पीछे मुझे दिख रहा है चंद्र प्रकाश जी गीजगर से, possibly our oldest partner. Thank you, and thank you everybody for joining us today. Smita has given me a task of taking you through my vision into the past and into the future, almost like Sanjay from Mahabharata. You know, Sanjay, Dhritarashtra couldn't see, so Sanjay described the war. तो मैं अगर मुझको खुद को संजय के हिसाब से देखूं तो first memory of Read comes with the founder, Tony Newbauer, who passed away very recently. She was introduced to me by a past colleague of Smita's. Smita was working as a very young person, 17 years back, she's still very young, at a microfinance organization. And that colleague of hers said that, hey, we know you're doing something in a village school called Katapuri Government High School. Can we come and see? So I was then the employee of one of those large MNCs, abhi hai nahi, uska naam tha Nokia. And I said, aa jaiye. And we took them to show a computer class in a village school. And that experience was quite an interesting one, because she had come from Nepal, where she was setting up libraries as a donation to the people who were coming in as Sherpas. So initially the thought was that library banayenge to educate the children of the Sherpas. And when I showed them this computer center, they said, oh wow, you can have computer centers also in village schools. And that's where the vision started. So right from get-go, you will see all our libraries have computers. And when we started calling them CLRCs, Community Learning and Resource Centers, they also started having skilling pieces. So I remember Geechgar specifically because that was the first project ground up that one created at REIT. तो गीचगर में हम जब गए थे, and as you all know, each library has a library management committee which is coming out of the village, so community से, ताकि the ownership is always with the community because this is a community asset which is being created and over a period of time sustained by the community. Initially we are there to provide the support, and I remember that discussion which happened between what will be put in place to as a sustainable activity to maintain the library. So library तो हम बना के चले जाएंगे, उसके बाद sustain कैसे करेंगे? So that's where the sustainable livelihood piece comes in. And I remember the debate with at Geechgar कि पहले हम भैंस पालेंगे और भैंस के दूध बेच के हम लाइब्रेरी को मेंटेन करेंगे. And then in the panchayat meeting one lady stood up and said that आप लोग तो, and there were a lot of men in that meeting, आप लोग तो सब मंडे को, meeting happening on Sunday, आप तो मंडे को चले जाओगे जयपुर, तो भैंस को पालेंगे कौन? So they said that no, we are not going to do that. We want something which is a bit more skilled. So that's how the sewing machines that you see in every one of our centers got in, because the women said that we are willing to sew. And one of our early partners was Walmart. So when Walmart came and said that, hey, you know something, we'll give you waste cloth, and can the women of Geechgar sew bags for us? We will buy it from you and we will sell it to our consumers at our Easy Day stores. So overnight we had 60 machines in the Geechgar center providing livelihoods. So our entire logic changed. Initially the thought was that libraries and sustainable livelihoods. Now sustainable livelihoods became the center. And over the last 10 years, and I'm talking about, this journey I'm describing is from 2007 to 2010-12. 12 के बाद मुझे ये भी याद है कि जब consultations हो रहा था section 135 लेके, we had a small conclave, Geeta ji will remember, Smita will remember, with Dr. Bhaskar Chatterjee, who was the founding Secretary General of the National Foundation for CSR at the Indian Institute of Corporate Affairs. So he came and actually presented how the CSR Act is going to work for projects like this. So three things which even Geeta ji mentioned, which came up, was that the board of the company will have to decide what are the causes. Basis the causes, the CSR projects and programs will have to be designed. And in the CSR Act, the disclosure that is required is that 2% norm. Are you contributing 2% of your average 3 years profit on what projects and what programs? Now this was the compliance part. Then comes the question of where will your project be and how will you monitor and evaluate the projects. So the key phases which comes in, as Geeta ji mentioned, is where is the community. So you have to do a baseline assessment, and all our partners will know this कि हम उसी communities में काम करते हैं where the baseline for that community is that okay, we have that adequate number of people who will benefit from setting up a library with a skilling center which will impact their livelihoods. So it then becomes, now it's become a dual play, right? So we initially said we'll have libraries, now we're saying we'll have libraries with sustainable livelihoods to support the libraries. And then we will monitor and evaluate, and then how do you know you have succeeded? So you will present that data to the company saying that this is the movement that we've done, and at some point of time say that okay, I was looking for Saksharta or Shashaktikaran as outcomes. I was looking for increasing or doubling the women's income in this community, and I have succeeded in doing so, and they can sustain on their own. So that becomes the exit criteria. And the good part is that when we look at it from a 17-year long window, and specifically in the last 10 years of having the CSR Act, and next year we'll be doing an event on 10 years together of the CSR implementation, we will actually be able to see where we've come with many of our centers who have matured becoming partners again. So the partnership model is, baked into our play. So there is CSR partnerships, philanthropic partnerships, project partnerships, knowledge partnerships, and community partnerships. So there are 3 levels of partnerships that we're talking about. And the beauty is, just like, we have this example, and we've been missing Dayal sir here. So very responsible people who are in government have joined us on their personal capacity and given it direction in their communities. So, ab aage. So this is basically the journey been in the last 17 years. The last 10 years has been a excellent journey where I would say that, the sole leadership of Geeta ji and the team with Smita, who have worked under her leadership, have actually taken us to a different level altogether. We were just in a meeting yesterday and day before, and I was looking at how are we doing. In 2014, we had around 20 centers, and 20 centers which had across the country, so Manipur, Sundarbans, Haryana, 2 in Haryana. Now we have 65 centers. So it's like a 3x growth. And one of the key ways that we look at where are we is how many books do we have. So when we started, in fact it's there in our trust deed, कि ट्रस्ट में लिखा हुआ है कि एक किताब, एक इंसान, एक गांव. So one book, one person, one village. So if you're saying that, okay, this village has 2,000 people, then we'll have 2,000 books. You'll be happy to know that Read India has 85,228 books in the 65 libraries as of day before yesterday, which is 14th of March. So Kalpana ji, thanks to your direction and Dr. Goswami's direction, we've actually are on a very, very sustainable and stable journey on keeping the library movement alive. Now, why is the library important? आज के तारीख में तो सबके हाथ में मोबाइल फ़ोन है, लाइब्रेरी का क्या ज़रूरत? तो ज़रूरत यहाँ पे आता है कि लाइब्रेरी functions as a safe space. Safe space बोले तो I can see Shashi sitting there, and Shashi is, I'll talk about Shashi in a bit, but Shashi is now training women on skills in a public toilet facility which is run by PVR Nest in partnership with the Municipal Corporation of Delhi. I had the privilege of visiting the place a couple of few weeks back, and within the space of a public laboratory, there's a computer lab, there's a sewing class, there's a beautician training center, and there's a library in the building next to it, with a covered space for people to actually learn various things, from soft skills to digital skills to sewing to etiquette. And there is a list of the skills that the women of that community want. Why do they want it there? Because that particular public toilet serves 3 slum clusters around Kirti Nagar. And most of the women come from these areas where घर पे तो छोड़ो, बाहर ट्यूबवेल का जो पानी है, that is not usable for a clean bath experience. So they come to the public toilet to do it. And I'll go even further on how it works, because Geeta ji ने एक वहाँ पे एक I saw एक register है register में whoever is using the toilet puts in, it's a physical register, puts in their name and their signature, and then the supervisor puts in a grade. So I was very curious that why are you putting a grade here? So there is a escalation. So on a score of 1 to 5, if you have left the toilet clean after your use, you get access to training facilities. So if you are on 5 for, say 3 weeks, then you get opportunity to learn digital skills. And this sort of motivation, this incentivization of good skills, good manners, good etiquette, good usage of toilets, I haven't seen this before. And I have to thank Geeta ji for thinking this up. She also got them to write a Swachhata promise, which everybody has to use. So this is the way it works. Okay. Now think about it. It's a MCD, Municipal Corporation of Delhi facility, in partnership with PVR Nest, with Read as the knowledge partner. We are providing the libraries and the training, and this is where I'll bring in Sashi's story. I meet Sashi for the first time in Wazirabad, maybe about 10 years back. I remember she would pause. She came from a very, troubled situation, and she came to the center because this was a safe space for her. For 4 or 5 hours that she was at the center, Shashi could learn something and be by herself with other women who were like her. Cut to 2 years to 2019, year before the lockdown. Shashi is the head of the Wazirabad center. She's managing the entire center. The center has a library, has a लाइब्रेरी भी है, अर्ली चाइल्ड डेवलपमेंट स्कूल भी है, स्टिचिंग सेंटर भी है, ब्यूटिशियन ट्रेनिंग भी है. कट टू 2 हफ्ते पहले, Sashi is, and I took a picture and posted on my blog, Sashi is the head trainer at the PVR Nest MCD facility for beauty. So this is the transformation that I'm seeing. There are other stories here. Some of them, अच्छा नाम ना लेके बताता हूँ. This is one person who decided she didn't want to get married, and she came and hid in the Reed library. She was discovered the next day, and she said, "I'm not going home. Can I stay here?" So then there was a lot of calls. Geeta ji calling me saying, "Can we do something like this?" I said that if you can give her work to do, then why not? This person makes her the library her second home or the first home, and in a few years she becomes a brand champion. She is not only leading the library, she is also teaching people. Meanwhile, she's also got herself a double MA. So just following this Chatham House rules, I'm not taking the name, but there are these kind of transformational stories. Now Smita asked me to just share with you the vision for the future, and also what are the lessons we are taking out from the past. So if I was to look at just the last 1 year, from last March till now, I have been to 4 centers. The first one was a center near Patiala with a partner called Prabhasra. They run a very large shelter home for abandoned people, as well as for mentally ill and disabled people. We've just helped them with setting up a library, a computer center and a skilling center. But the interesting part is that in all our communities we haven't really looked at mental health. And that's one of the things that I committed to Prabhasra, that we would like to leverage your expertise in these issues, these areas, because we focused on creating a safe space for knowledge. But the other thing which has come out of COVID is that what you know about the world and what you know about yourself, and how do you manage the consequences of the world within yourself, is very important. And that's one of the things one would like to look at in terms of how do we improve the mental health of the communities that we serve. The next place that I got a chance to visit was a Coforge community library, which I would encourage all of you to go and see, because that is the state of the art of libraries in India and possibly the world, and that is completely out of the leadership of Geeta, guidance of Kalpana ji, Smita and the team. It's a fabulous place. I definitely think each of you should go and visit it.
I would like to request Aditi and Agam to stand here and just introduce yourself for managing that beautiful library.
Aditi and Agam, fantastic. And so these are people, I mean, this is an exceptional piece of work which has happened. The third I mentioned was the PVR Nest Garima Greh, where they've created an approach of WASH champions, water and safety and hygiene champions, turning into Kalakars. So Kala is an acronym. There is Shashi and her team. Knowledge and learning assistants, Kalakars. So great to see you. And the fourth center I went to is Geechgar. I went there with Rajesh ji, and Chandraprakash ji treated us to a beautiful visit, accompanied by his home-cooked dal bati churma. It's must-have. But what's great about Geechgar is that it's also going to be the first independent community that we want to set up. Geechgar was the first library which we set up, Greenfield. It's where the Walmart project sewing machines are there. Are these from Geechgar? So these shawls are from Geechgar. So we've managed to, over the years, able to build a certain set of expertise over there. Now, how do we build expertise? Now, one of the authors popular authors, had put a 10,000 hour rule. 10,000 hours, if you do anything consistently, you will become an expert in it. 10,000 hours, lagbhag, le lo, if you work consistently 8 ghanta per day, it will take you 3 years. If you are a woman in a rural setting where you are managing your household and farm responsibilities and then coming to the center, maybe 3 to 4 hours a day, 6 years, max. And that's the transformation I saw at Geechgar. The quality of the fabric, the kind of work that they're doing, and I'm sure that is a learning for all of us. Now, the effort will be to enable them to run this as their own enterprise, because now they need to get wings to fly. So, basis these 4 visits and the thoughts that one had, one of the things that one wants to build on, and which I told Geeta ji also, is हमारे लिए ना महिला first है. If you look at it, look around the room. Why? Because community, if you want to take the community first approach, women come first. Women are the core networkers. They are the people who hold family together. They are the people who hold the community together. And even last year when I saw women collaborating in places like Nora, it was a fantastic experience where we saw that they came together and jointly agreed to do something which sustained and stayed. Why do I bring this up? Because there is a massive migration which still continues. Men are still migrating out of rural settings into urban settings. If we can create these women-led collaborative community spaces, we can perhaps stem the tide or improve that situation. The next observation that I had is that CSR has been the core driver for us for the last 10 years, out of the last 17. The first 7 years were philanthropic endeavors. Our founder, Tony, and then her friends from the US, some corporates as well, give us grants. Going forward, we'd like to push that envelope as well and look at ESG aligned projects and programs, because that is now becoming one of the big things which is coming up, and I would like to hear more from our partners. I heard people who are working in the green economy. I see, people working in the honeybee networks. So that would become very important. The third point is that bringing the digital and physical worlds together. Because one of the things which is very big this year is AI. And everybody is saying that, okay, now digital is equal to AI. So I would like to disagree with that and say that internet is much larger than social media and AI is not digital. What the library does is provide that safe space for collaboration. One of the examples which I also heard at Rijgar was that the frequent users of the library, people who are staying at the library till closing time and even beyond, are youngsters who are preparing for competitive exams. Now, in a congested or an underserved area, if you have a safe space where boys and girls can study together to achieve their career goals, that I think is a major criteria for success. I think the Coforge library enables us to do that in Noida. The fourth point, which I want to end with, is using the Instagram reel lingo. We are in the collab universe, so it's not that partnering is an option anymore. Partnering is a must. So we need to be partnering in achieving our joint objectives. So whether it's with the communities which want us to help them, with the corporates who want us to work with them to be compliant of the CSR and the ESG goals, with the public authorities which want our expertise, like they are in UP, where I think we have 8 state libraries which are looking at us to help them make it more accessible to people. So this is the way forward. So collab is the way forward. It's happening everywhere. And I believe that our mission, which originally started off as libraries and supported by sustainable livelihoods, is now libraries which create sustainable livelihoods. And I think that piece is still here, even in the in the world of climate change, even in extremely stressed out global environment. But the confidence which I'm seeing in this room, the kind of passion and power that I see in this room, makes me very confident that we will be sustaining for a very long time. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jay sir, taking us through the journey from your eyes and giving us the way forward with mental health as one of our, going forward, one of our interventions that we can do, which we've already started during the COVID and post-COVID, giving us the 10,000 hour rule. So I think we're on the right track with Geechgar as an example. Giving the vision of women first along with the community first approach, and also going forward with partners who are ESG focused, so that our interventions are also focused on ESG and compliant with the global network. With that, I'd thank sir for his great summary of what we've done and the way we would like to move forward. During this time, we've joined by 2 more guests, Dr. Sakshi Virmani and Dr. Shubhangi. We'd like to welcome you and thank you for taking your time to come and join us. They are from Rishihood University and they are our knowledge partners. They continue to guide us, build capacity for us and our team. Especially, I would say it's not only the skills that we need, I think it is also building our mental health, because Dr. Shubhangi and Dr. Sakshi both have given us sessions on how we can use Gita ka Gyan as leaders, as managers. So each one of our team members have gone through that journey, and I think it has given us a different paradigm of how we see ourselves as community workers or as the leaders, young leaders of the world. So thank you for being our partners and for joining us today. Next in line, I would request Ms. Kalpana Das Gupta, who's again been our mentor, our guide, the force behind the first pillar of READ, which is the pillar of education. What Jay sir shared about the humongous resource that we have, the books also need readers. So she keeps on guiding us how readers are important, how readers are going to be our first choice. So ma'am, I would request you to please share your version of READ's journey and how our libraries are adding to the SDGs of the communities.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here, and I really thank Read India for organizing a summit like this. And, it is an honor to meet people who are actually doing the work. We have been sitting in Delhi most of the time and making plans, but actually hands-on work is being done by you all. And it's a very proud moment for us to see you all here in person. We listen about you all and your achievements, but when we really see that here are the people who are in flesh and blood, who are actually doing the work, that gives us a great honor and pleasure, both. Thank you all for coming here. My commitment or whatever with READ has started with the founder of READ, Tony, who wanted me to join READ. And till very recently, I was the only librarian in the READ team. And I've been with READ for 17 years now. Well, I am a librarian by profession, and the whole model of READ really enthused me. That here is a model where libraries are on the center stage and everything revolves around the activities of the library, which makes one feel very thrilled and happy. Because in many ways, libraries and librarians are told, well, that's a secondary kind of a thing. But here, that is the core. But again, the libraries have to be very different from the big libraries like the National Library and the academic libraries and the institutional libraries. These are libraries which are for the people who haven't had the opportunity of ever seeing a library. That is where we start from. That here, this is a library. I remember I went to Bede for an inauguration. And very interestingly, for inauguration, more than 800 people had come from different villages near around. They had walked, they had come with their grandchildren. It was a fantastic, it was a thrilling experience that you had so many people interested to see what a library is all about. And that is where what READ has taken me. It has taken me to the grassroots of this country. And that is where I have understood the roadblocks that many parts of the country have still. It has been an extremely good experience for me, because we have, as Jay has said, that we started with very few, and here we are today, 55, right? 65 libraries. And now in the world after COVID, children especially and young adults are hooked to the screen. And that has almost become a psychological problem for many people, for many youngsters. And there is a call to public libraries that please bring back children and young adults to libraries and to printed books. Try to take them away from the screen as much as possible. So we have started in West Bengal, we have started a new center. There was one, the first center was in West Bengal, Ulon, and the next one is very close to Shanti Niketan, which is called Shurul. The community and the village is called Shurul. What we are trying to do is, and where we would like all the libraries to join us in that, is that to start introducing children who are coming to the early learning centers of these centers to libraries. We are getting books, and the teachers, we are requesting them to read the books and tell them stories, not stories of Cinderella or stories of, Hansel and Gretel and things like that, or stories of Indian language children's books. Those are there. Our mythologies are there and they're very interesting. Yes, it would be part of their job. But to talk about simple books which are coming out on a regular basis now, on things like climate change, on how children can help in a garden, how teachers can take them not to a fantastic 5-star hotel to go to a pool and things like that, but where vegetables are grown actually, not by chemicals, but by something else. So, much more non-urban sector. So, those books, if the teachers start telling stories from those books in the language, then the children get interested in those things as well. Yes, fairy tales are lovely, of course, but those are also part of today's lives. Environment. Look at the cities, look at the condition. I live in Shanti Niketan and it's beautiful. This is what I have great problems coming to Delhi now, though I have lived in Delhi for 34 years. But the environment troubles me now. So if the children grow up that way, that they start reading books or looking at books. Looking at books is also has to be done now, cultivated. Because for 2 years they have looked at a screen, nothing else. Sitting at home and looking at a screen. So that is something which I personally trying my level best to start in our center there. And Dr. Goswami and I, we had given an action plan and we would like to network all these libraries and see what is available where and how far we can really do for the community from 2.5 years. Not when they are grown up only, but from 2.5 years we start grooming children with information on the latest problems of the world, latest problems of our society. That's another thing which I have learned. I'm completely an urban person. But when I visited, say, Geejgarh was at the beginning, just the initial stages. We literally had to talk to the mothers-in-law. औरतें घूंघट काढ़ के ऐसे बैठे हुए हैं, उनको कहीं जाने की इजाजत नहीं है. वो लाइब्रेरी में आने की भी इजाजत चाहिए, जो फादर इन लॉ और मदर इन लॉ से बात करनी पड़ी कि वो लाइब्रेरी में आए, वहां से सेफ स्पेस, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं होगी. एंड माई white hair is very useful, I can tell you that. अच्छा, तो आप मैडम बोल रही हैं, ये तो बुजुर्ग हैं, इनको तो पता ही होगा. So that is something which helped. ये अगर कह रही है सही है तो सही है. And you know, in North India, mother syndrome is a very big thing. So that again helps. That here is a mother and a grandmother talking to us. So this is how we really literally had to, in Jhajjar, isn't it? In Jhajjar, we literally had to talk to the family before we could ask them to come to the library or start studying again. पढ़ाई कर लेगी, बहू है क्या है, घर में काम करेगी. बहू पढ़ाई के साथ साथ काम भी कर सकती है. ये उनको लिटरली समझाना पड़ा. सो द एंटायर सोसाइटी हैज टू बी रीमॉडल्ड, एंड दैट शुड स्टार्ट फ्रॉम द वेरी बिगिनिंग. दैट इज व्हाट आई हैव लर्नड आफ्टर वर्किंग इन रीड, कि वो नीचे से शुरू करना पड़ेगा, बच्चों से शुरू करना पड़ेगा, औरतों को बुलाना पड़ेगा, औरतों को देना पड़ेगा वो दैट राइट टू बी ऑन देयर ओन, टू दैट राइट टू बी सेल्फ सफिशिएंट, दैट हैज टू बी गिवन टू देम. एंड द सोसाइटी डजंट गिव देम सो इजीली. द फैमिलीज डोंट गिव देम सो इजीली. ये तो we have proved ourselves. Reed has proved ourselves that yes, this is a center, this is an organization which will help our daughters-in-law or daughters to become self-sufficient without the problems which the society always gives them. वो वहाँ पर जाके उनको कोई दिक्कत नहीं होगी. औरत होने की जो दिक्कत है, that is so embedded in the social structure that it is not funny. मतलब अर्बन इंडिया से जाके तो अजीब लगता है कि अभी तक ये हाल है. Then the way place I am now, we have multiple villages with Adivasis there. Their lifestyle is completely different. Completely. Their entire attitude is different. The way the women work and the men don't do anything is another major thing. So there, what we are trying, and we are very happy to say that lots of Adivasi girls are coming for our skilling programs. For the computer classes, for the dressmaking classes, for another thing which we tried in Bengal, this is to do an art form which is called Goina Bodi. You know Badi? बड़ी को इन द शेप ऑफ ज्वेलरी बनाते हैं वहां पर. इसका एक हिस्ट्री भी है. वहां पर तो चाइल्ड मैरिज, सब जगह चाइल्ड मैरिज होता था, हिंदुस्तान में अभी भी होता है. वो बच्चे होते थे जो 6-6 महीने में, 1-1 साल में शादी हो जाती थी. उसके बाद उसका हस्बैंड मर गया तो वो वैसे रह गई, बाल विधवा. By the time they became young, in their youth, they missed all that beautiful things. Jewelry, they were not allowed. Widows are not allowed to wear jewelry. Widows are not allowed to wear colorful clothes. So they started making these jewelry in the house with lentils, दाल के साथ. उनके जो मन का जो दुख था कि हम ज्वेलरी नहीं हैंडल करते हैं, वो उन्होंने खाने की चीज में किया. दिस इज द हिस्ट्री बिहाइंड दिस ब्यूटिफुल थिंग. एंड सो यू नो, एंड दीज वर मेड बाय an institution which houses women for who have been victims of violence, all kinds of violence, domestic violence, outside violence. So they were given the training to make these buddies. and they are being sold. So, and that's an art form of Bengal, of Mednipur actually. So we have taken it up in the center. So these are certain things which we are trying to do. And READ is one place where the community comes together. Everybody comes together. In Bede, when we opened the library, the women said, हम अंदर जा सकते हैं, हमसे कोई पूछेगा नहीं हम कौन सा कास्ट के हैं, कहाँ से आए हैं, कितना, कोई नहीं. Men also, हम जा सकते हैं, इनके साथ हम जा, means with the higher caste can we actually enter the same house, place. So this is the difference. This is the difference we are making in the various parts of India. And to be involved in something like this, I'm very proud. And I do hope, in spite of my very senior age, I will be able to continue working with READ and be of help to them. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for your inspiring words and sharing how our libraries are preserving the hidden culture or the culture that needs to be handed over to the next generation through our libraries. And while you were talking about the soft skills or the skills that the new generation needs to understand and harness, we were joined by Mr. Harsh Arora, who's our consultant for life skills. So those life skills that you just mentioned, we're trying to engage people who can take this to the next level. So thank you, Harsh sir, for joining us. With that, we move on to the next section where I would like to invite Chief Guest for the day, Dr. R.K. Sharma. Can we have his profile, please? So Dr. Sharma is currently working as a librarian in United Nations Information Center for India and Bhutan. He is a knowledge management expert and focal point for providing information support on the UN and global contemporary issues to the public at large. A practicing librarian for over 35 years, he holds a PhD degree in library sciences and he's undergone several advanced training programs in library and information management in India and abroad. So, sir, I welcome you to the dais and share your knowledge from the world and how we are engaging that knowledge in READ Center. So, please come to the dais, sir.
Good morning to everyone. श्री बख्शी जी, हमारे पेंटर मैडम, मेजर जनरल संधू जी, गीता जी, and all my professional colleagues sitting here, Dr. T.V. Singh, Jagtar Singh ji, Ganguly ji, Goswami ji, Rangashri ji, Jha ji, and lot of other people. And as Madam has rightly said that we are facing the people who are really pillars of this particular, the READ India organization in helping them and building the resilient communities. So I would like to thank READ India, especially Geeta Malhotra ji, Country Director, for giving me this opportunity to speak with you or to sharing my views with you. Thanks a lot. And really you are doing a wonderful job. And what I can say at this moment, because in 1951 the Delhi Public Library was established as a role model for perhaps for the Asia, that how a public library could be served the nation and the nearby countries. And I think in the present, because 70 years has passed and the shape of libraries really got changed, and this READ India, I think your model for helping the communities and providing the library services is a really new model, and I think it should be acceptable to all, And I think someone has recently said that public libraries also should take part in this vision to really change the library setups so that they can be helpful to communities as a library spaces. I want to, because a lot of has been said about Read India, Geeta ji and Bakshi ji, but I would like to focus few things that here is the worth mentioning that Read India's footprint has now spread over all across the country with over 60 libraries or 65 libraries I heard recently, and reaching to more than 300 villages in 15 states, connecting more than 500,000 people. These libraries are not just places where people come to learn, but they also define the address critical community issues on their own. Why I am mentioning Read India? Because of its unique role. What's that unique role? As to translate the SDGs in action. There are very few libraries or public services department which once they are established, they are doing the routine job. But taking the things into action actually is very important, and this is the role model you have shown to we people. Though we are from the library profession, but you are doing our job in a better way. So, they translate the SDGs into action with the community participation, management and ownership of the programs. No doubt, Read India has been building resilient communities, like you have mentioned that one family and one village, and you are getting books according to the number of the people in that society. Before I say something what has happened internationally, I have something in mind, because I'm talking about, because I was Director General of Delhi Public Libraries 2 years back. Let me share, because I took two initiatives or initiated two things there, and they are all similar to you like that. One was Ghar Ghar Dastak and Ghar Ghar Pustak, because we have mobile vans and mobile libraries. 9 mobile libraries we have, reaching to 130 points in the NCR region. And from there we have given a specific telephone number. People, they are asking that we need this book, and through our library, mobile library network, we just send the publications to them. And I am not saying that we have been able to perfectly, doing that job, but we have at least served a lot of people through this mode of service, through the mobile library services. Similarly, I think I think Bakshi ji has mentioned about that when you go to communities, you have to find what is the need of that particular community, and then you have to serve accordingly. Then you are reaching to the masses. So in that way, what I was noticing in DPL, Delhi Public Library, that most of our users are they are all preparing for the competitive examinations. 80% of them, and our libraries are always full. We don't have any reading problem, because most of the libraries that we are saying that readers are decreasing and there are no spaces. We have I tell you, the queue and waiting list for the users. Because most of the users, they are coming from the poor backgrounds, some mediocre families. They are coming from Meerut, Ghaziabad, UP, from that area also. And they wanted to have a space to at least read there, to consult there. So we are providing them the material. And let me tell you the one thing very unique in DPL, because in most of the libraries you must have seen that all the important books are really purchased. But in our library, it has been a practice, and is continuing, that we purchase the examination, competitive examination books. And for us, there is a lot of budget burden, because every year they are outdated and we have to purchase for them, because most of the our readers are the students who are preparing for civil service examinations. the judiciary examination, banking and all that. So we have started that. Then once I was just talking to the students who were reading in our library, what are their problems? What are they are preparing? So someone has said, I am preparing for this exam, this exam. But you see, they were not having any proper guidance with them. Because they were, unless and until they appear for one exam, they will know how to prepare. So what I did, I just contacted few people who have just passed out the civil service examinations, and they are working in Delhi as Assistant Commissioner of Police and various departments. And I requested them that you please come and guide our students that how they should prepare for these competitive examinations. And voluntarily they were very happy, because you know the police job and other executive people, IAS people, they are always very busy, but they really spared time. And in my Sarojini Nagar branch, I started that, and every 2 weeks there is one person from civil services who was recently selected, and he was sharing views and telling people how to prepare for the competitive examination. So we just give a name to that, Gyan Ganga Disha Kendra, and it has been working there. Similarly, we have collaborated with 2 schools in East Delhi, and they were the government schools, and they are nearby the JJ clusters. And I really went to the principal and I asked her, okay, you just send your boys or call them, and in collaboration with those things, so we really tried to give them they could learn so many things like computers and all that, and they were helping in disseminating a lot of journal information to that community. Similarly, I think Rangashri is here. I think more than 12 or 15 years back, when I was working with UN, and we did a program, and then she mentioned at that time, maybe a decade ago, that they are engaged with communities in the nearby villages in Sonipat, if I am not wrong. And that was a really great idea at that time, and I think still it is continuing. I think Gangulis will really continue the same thing. And I think recent, this Rishi Hood University and Dharamveer is there. I think you might have been using your resources, I mean the university resources, to the communities nearby. Really, it's a great job. And when we talk about the international things, I always feel delighted to mention that first time in the history, United Nations recognized the libraries as key institutions for achieving the Sustainable Development Goals. I think you all know about the Sustainable Development Goals. They are 17 and 160 targets, and it was started in 215 and by 230. And asked IFLA, is the World Federation of Library Associations, to contribute through its library network. Because of IFLA's effort in this direction, it was possible that access to information, and because they wanted to ensure the public access to information, has been recognized as a target 16 and 16.10 under Sustainable Development Goals. For this reason, IFLA launched the International Advocacy Program, which is called IAP 2016, a new capacity building program designed to promote and support the role of libraries can play in the planning and implementation of the UN 30 agenda. As follow-up, 72 countries are currently participating in the IFLA's IPA and have agreed to carry out awareness raising activities and to meet policymakers to ensure libraries are recognized as key partners in supporting the UN 2030 agenda. IFLA President, the then President, Donna Schieder, stated based on a report, it's called Development and Access 21. It's a very wonderful report. I think those who are engaged with the how the libraries can be helpful in achieving the sustainable goal, they should read this report DA 21. There is, she said there is no truly sustainable development without access to information and no meaningful inclusive access to information without libraries. She also warned that without strong government support for libraries, the digital divide could turn into an information and knowledge divide. I think someone has mentioned about this. If we are not doing this, so there will be a knowledge divide, because people, those who are rich or those who have resources, they have access to libraries but not others. However, discussing all is not enough, as it is our responsibility, especially librarians and libraries, to involve in the building resilient communities by redefining their roles and services and provide strong linkages between access to information and inclusive societies where no one is left behind, and to better respond to these new imperatives. Now question comes, I think Bakshi ji and the vision, he has told you about the vision of this Read India and what they are doing. It is very important to plan in a proper way and how to proceed further for the conventional libraries and the libraries world and otherwise. So what I would say that creation of multicultural libraries, I would say two things are very important, and they are the prerequisites for having the new library setup which really is helpful to the communities. That is creation of multicultural libraries, which means to provide library services to currently diverse societies. This concept has been endorsed by IFLA in 2009 and UNESCO in 2006 and UNESCO in 2009 in the Multicultural Library Manifesto. On the UNESCO website, you will find the Multicultural Library Manifesto. They have given what type of multicultural library should be, what they should do, who should involve and all that. So they have given all the guidance in this manifesto. To me, this is the high time to create multicultural libraries in real sense. Like I am just noticing that you have builders sitting here and they are helping you and helping the society. So that is real sense. For instance, most of the libraries in developed countries have partnership with the government, immigration departments. They partner with the settlement counselors and language classes, providing information support about legal, child care, housing, health, education, etc. Number two is the creating library partnership. And I think everyone has focused about this partnership. And Bakshi ji has given a very good idea of what type of partnerships you have, the knowledge partnership and other so many things. But partnership is very important for such multicultural libraries. So the traditional role of libraries as centers for learning and knowledge is not challenged. However, their methods are under scrutiny, and the positioning and activities of the libraries are being rethought. That is, moving from collections to connections is the new slogan. Lastly, I would say that the role of libraries as centers of inclusive access to information is crucial, and in distant future, the e-books and e-library will become dominant for the sustainable development, and librarians have no option than to promote the best possible ways to access information globally. It is therefore believed that the libraries contribute to sustainable development if modern technologies are embraced as means of providing access to free knowledge and repositioning libraries. Just mentioned that you need technology to reach to the masses. Like a lot of learning modules are there nowadays, and you are helping. The technology really is very helpful in. So the repositioning of libraries vis-a-vis their users by introducing new services and products, building alliances with other organizations, and interacting with users for meeting their complex information needs. And the new thing, I think our new education policy 2020 also mentioned about that we should have libraries in the rural area, all the villages should have libraries. And another good point in the education policy is, and the government is following that education policies, and you can really have that you see strength from that education policy. And they are they entrusted the responsibility to National Book Trust to produce good publication. Madam, you rightly mentioned that there should be a print good literature, and it should be made available to the entire society and entire public. So I think the new education policy should be implemented, and I do not know, because it's 4 months back, I heard in the Ministry of Culture that they have really spared 5,000 crores really for the development of libraries. I'm not talking about that national mission on libraries and all that. Recently they have created that amount, but the fight is going on that who will take care of that amount and who will implement in the whole country. So again, it's a problem. But if that amount is given to the entire country and some organization really come forward, so I think a lot of the library services could be improved. As you know, more than 50,000 public libraries are in India, as per the Raja Ram Mohan Library data, and the situation is really not happy. Some libraries are doing good job, but they are not really doing the real job as you are doing. So what is my suggestion would be that if the public library or the government system should take the help of NGOs like Read India, because I have worked in United Nations, and most of the United Nations work has been done by the international NGOs. Because they know that we can't reach to each and everyone. So they are helping the NGOs who are really working in the field. So if the government really takes care of, like you have established 65 libraries, I think when you might be remembering, we had a meeting with the National Book Trust in Uttarakhand. And I raised a question at that time when this IPLM was working and all that okay, you are creating the libraries, and for 3 years or 5 years you are helping them, giving them the resources, the human resources and the other things. But what will happen after that? Because library is a growing organization. If it is stopped after 3 years or 5 years, then everything gone waste. So my suggestion would be that government should really take care of that. Some regular income or recurring expenditure should be given to those, or like you are helping so much of libraries, so you should get some help from the government so that the libraries could sustain themselves and provide the good library services. So with this, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity, Geeta ji, and thank you for all of you to listen me patiently. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Dr. Sharma. Har Ghar Dastak, Har Ghar Pustak. So I think that's something we did at a very small level while we were shut for COVID. So हर घर दस्तक दी थी सर हमने, हमारी कम्युनिटी घर घर गई कौन सी किताब पढ़नी है तो पूछा, और हम उनके दरवाजे पे थैले बांध के आते थे और उन थैलों में वो किताबें रख के आते थे. तो एट आवर लेवल हमने भी थोड़ा सा आपका जो विजन है उसको इम्प्लीमेंट किया है, हर घर दस्तक हर घर पुस्तक. एंड सेकेंडली थैंक यू फॉर आइडेंटिफाइंग एंड रिकग्नाइजिंग रीड इंडिया एज वन ऑफ द library services whose doing the implementing SDGs on ground. Recently, Dr. Geeta presented a paper on how our libraries are contributing actively to the SDGs and how we are focusing on certain and how there's a ripple effect on the other SDGs. We'll be talking about that during the day, but thank you for giving us that thought and reinstating our status in that genre. Without much further delay, I take just one moment and welcome our most esteemed and valued partner, guest, mentor, Mr. R.S. Dalal. He's a former DGP Haryana. So he's trained, mentored, I think, hundreds of IPS officers, IAS officers, and the way you see him, his heart is more than double. So he's given his ancestral Haveli. He was one of the first few who believed in us, believed in this model, and wanted to give back. And he continues to nurture them, nurture the community, continues to go personally, mentor them. So thank you, sir, for keeping that faith, and we hope that in the last 17 years, or the association that we've had with you for the last 10 years, we've been able to do justice to that. So thank you for joining us for today, sir. With this session needs to end with our third and most important pillar, that's Major General Surat Sandhu. So sir, I'd like to invite you for your thoughts. Please join us.
Right. Gentlemen and ladies and gentlemen on the dais, friends, thank you, Smita, to give me some time, in spite of the fact that we have overshot the time. Am I right? To thank people is a great privilege, great honor, and I'd like to start by thanking our stars, the people who have come from the field. They come here to tell you what we do and how we do. I think they are our stars, and we really can't thank them enough. जितना भी रीड इंडिया की अचीवमेंट्स हैं, उपलब्धियां हैं, सब इन्हीं के द्वारा हैं, और इनको हम enough thanks नहीं कर सकते हैं. Thank you very much, and you're going to hear a lot of जो भी इन्होंने demonstrate करेंगे अपना achievements आगे जाके. Right. Thank you very much. Next, I'd like to thank all the staff of Read India who are actually in the field and helping and doing things and translating things on the ground. Right. They're doing a great job. We are so satisfied with their performance. And अभी आपको मैं बताता हूँ कि मेरे ख्याल में पिछले 17 साल में रीड इंडिया ने तकरीबन 6 लाख लोगों की जिंदगी पर असर डाला है. And that's a very big achievement, very, very big achievement. And this has been possible because of the staff, because of all the partners, and because of all the people who are involved with the work that we do. Actually, bottom line NGOs का यही है कि we have to make an impact on somebody's life. And if we don't make an impact on somebody's life, whatever we are doing is a waste of time. ठीक है ना? तो ये चीज़ को मद्देनजर रखते हुए रीड इंडिया आगे बढ़ रहा है, पिछले कुछ सालों से काम कर रहा है और आगे बढ़ रहा है. बहुत सारा ज्ञान मिला है आज कल्पना जी से और शर्मा जी से. लेट मी अश्योर बोथ ऑफ देम दैट जो रीड की लाइब्रेरीज हैं, दे आर अडॉप्टिंग मोस्ट ऑफ द थिंग्स दैट ये इन्होंने बताया है. वी आर एक्चुअली डाउन द ग्राउंड और वहाँ देखते हैं कि यहाँ पे क्या करें ताकि लोगों को अट्रैक्ट करें हमारी लाइब्रेरीज में. राइट. दैट इज ऑल. दैट एवरी लाइब्रेरी इज अ यूनिक लाइब्रेरी, एंड व्हाट दे डू इज attracting the people, because you can create a library, लेकिन अगर आप you don't make it attractive, if you don't make it, who will come and use it? The point is, it's got to be, you have to make something attractive, and our people are now learning the art from Kalpana ji to how to make it attractive so that लोग आए और उसका फायदा उठाएं. हमारी एक लाइब्रेरी है पंजाब में जहाँ पे हमने जितनी नौकरियाँ अलॉट ऑफ एडवर्टाइज होती हैं, उसका चर्चा करते हैं, उसकी डिटेल है हमारे पास. We can't train people because there is one librarian, she or he is trying to do his best. But जो भी नौकरी है, आजकल कोई भी नौकरी जब तक आपकी 6 महीने 9 महीने 1 साल की तैयारी नहीं है, आपको नौकरी नहीं मिलेगी. It is becoming a very very challenging thing to get a job. Private sector, government sector. So हमारे वहाँ पे इस लाइब्रेरी में इंफॉर्मेशन है कि अगर आपको इस नौकरी के लिए तैयारी करनी है, कहाँ जाए, कौन सी एकेडमी में जाए, कितने महीने की ट्रेनिंग है, कितने का खर्चा है. So you have that information which can be shared with the people. So you are making that library attractive by people coming to find out कि भाई हमने नौकरी लेनी है, कौन कौन सी नौकरी एडवर्टाइज हो रही है और कहाँ हम इसकी ट्रेनिंग ले सकते हैं. ट्रेनिंग के बगैर में इट्स वेरी डिफिकल्ट टू गेट अ जॉब. वो पुराना जमाना जब सिफारिश होती थी, वो बात खत्म हो गई है. राइट नाउ इट्स योर कॉम्पिटेंस एंड यू कैन गेट. राइट. सो थैंक यू वेरी मच टू all the libraries which are working for Read India on the ground. We're very very grateful to them, and it's really interesting to see how innovative they are. Then I have to thank all the experts who are here. There are lots of experts because no NGO can function without external support, external effort, and that is very very important. And I'm sure what is important is that all the people who are involved with us, वो काम दिल से कर रहे हैं. You know, it has to be a passion. NGO का काम करना, NGO का job is not a job. It's a passion. If you have that passion, things will get translated and things will be better on the ground. So all the experts who support us, we're very grateful to you and thank you very much for being a support to us. And all the people who have come from outside, we really thank you all to be here today. We thank Sharma ji for being here today and he's given us a lot of words of wisdom. And thank you Bakshi ji and Kalpana ji, Geeta ji. मैं भी इनके साथ 17 साल से जुड़ा हूँ because I am one of the founders along with Mr. Bakshi. And हमारी जो spirit behind the whole thing is Tony Bindu Bauer, जिन्होंने ये लाइब्रेरी का काम नेपाल में शुरू किया था. और फिर then she wanted to expand into India, so that's how Bakshi ji and I came into the picture. हमने देखा कि ये जो चीज़ करनी है, ये बहुत ज़रूरी है, and we can make a big difference in the lives of people. And I think for the last 17 years, that's exactly what we are doing, right? And must thank Geeta ji and Smita ji for helping the entire thing, for translating whatever we are doing on the ground. And thank you one and all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Truly said that there has to be passion behind this mission. So we all are committed for miles to go. Thank you, everybody. With this, we conclude the opening session, and now we break quickly for tea.